Hi, everybody, and welcome to Keeneland Babies, presented by Spendthrift. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and Friday's Keeneland Baby race, race number 2. Let's throw up the field for a maiden special weight, going 4.5 furlongs on the main track. Spendthrift represented by the 3 headline report by first crop stallion Gormley, and the 6 Conager by the good stallion Jimmy Creed. And a lot of these races, Nicole, with first-time starters, sometimes you get the backstretch buzz. And for everything I've heard, the number 3 headline report is a little bullet.
Yeah, from that first crop of Gormley, who we'll get to in a minute. Gormley was a grade 1 performer as a 2-year-old, now standing at Spendthrift, and we'll discuss him a bit more in depth. I think you have an interesting mix of debut starters and first-time starters here.
One of the horses that did already make the career debut at this meeting is the number 1, Worrier. This one is by Fast Anna, the dam place sprinting on the dirt. It's the family of Aconite. It's a good sprint pedigree. This horse broke from the rail in his debut, didn't do much. It was a wet track, however. Maybe we can give him that excuse.
I do think so. Drawing the rail again, I think the experience will definitely benefit him. That can be intimidating for a young horse, especially if they don't get away perfectly and they suddenly have horses in all around them and a ton of dirt being thrown up at them for the first time, particularly on a wet track, like you pointed out.
Top 2-year-old trainer Wesley Ward, represented by both the 2, John's Protoege and the 3 headline report. The 2 has a really solid pedigree by Tapiture, good stallion. Wins 16% with juvenile debut runners. It's the family of the 2-year-old grade 1 stakes winner Siphonic. I believe he won the Hollywood Futurity. Just a solid pedigree.
Absolutely. And I circled this one when I saw Tapiture here. I think he really got lost in the shuffle of an outstanding freshman sire class, but he was among the leaders of this class, both with their first crop in 2019 and with their second crop in 2020. He was among the leaders by winners, particularly. He just seems to sire racehorses.
And here's the colt that I expect to take all the money, the 3 headline report from the first crop of Spendthrift's Gormley, a half-brother to a stakes-winning dirt sprinter, a $550,000 March 2-year-old in training purchase. He breezed a furlong in 9 4/5, and there's some class in the pedigree as well. The second dam, the multiple grade 1 stakes winner in New York, Critical Eye.
Absolutely. But what I thought was a bit interesting about Headline Report is that there's a lot of turf in his family. Gormley, a multiple grade 1 winner, routing on dirt by Malibu Moon. But Gormley does have a ton of turf in his female family, with Estropod and others appearing on the page. And remember, at OBS, the track that Breeze Show is conducted over is the all-weather safe track surface. So this one's certainly firing a fast furlong on that surface. I think this is one of those horses that Wesley Ward and Breeze Easy might love to run well with, and then get him on turf for Royal Ascot or some of the big summer events overseas.
Number 4 is La Baletsa Negra by Cairo Prince. And this horse was bought back twice at public auction, once for $75,000 as a weanling. The dam won her career debut. She went on to be a grade 3 stakes place sprinter. So there is some speed in this pedigree and a pretty quick workout out of the gate at the Thoroughbred Center.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this one seems to have some nice foundation for trainer Ray Hernandez, who we've come to know in recent seasons with Finnick the Fierce, Waiting for Nairobi, and others. Some 4 furlong works for foundation, a couple of pretty quick works there as well.
The number 5 is Icy River by Keen Ice from Keen Ice's first crop. This is a really strong pedigree. The second dam, the multiple grade 1 stakes winner, Sightseek. I just wonder, though, if this pedigree is more geared towards longer distance as this filly faces the boys for her debut.
Absolutely. That was my first impression, was that it's going to be a distance-oriented family. Keen Ice third in the Belmont Stakes before later defeating American Pharoah in the Traverse at 1 1/4 miles. You're crossing Keen Ice by Curlin, by Smart Strike over a Capit mare. It's a wonderful page, but I certainly think it's a distance-oriented page.
Conager, the 6, is by Spendthrift stallion Jimmy Creed. 17% winners. That's a good number. With 2-year-old first-time starters, the family of Timber Country, who was a really good horse back in the day.
Yeah, and Jimmy Creed standing at Spendthrift, just a racehorse sire. Sires very fast horses, sires very good 2-year-olds. I think underrated with just about everything he does on multiple surfaces and at multiple distances.
Perhaps a bit of a sleeper on the outside. That's the number 7, Cacharullo. This biogenic colt has already raced once and didn't show a lot of speed, but he ran at the end of that race. It was a good experience for him. What can you tell us about this stallion?
Well, Biogenic, a really well-bred horse who never did much on the track, but you kind of hope that maybe it skipped a generation. He's the son of Tappet, who has sired 2 juvenile champions himself and has a son who sired a juvenile champion. Biogenic out of Biofuel, a Canadian 2-year-old champion who's half to another champion. So he really strikes me as the one to maybe get a sneaky good 2-year-old. And I liked Cacharullo a little bit as a sleeper in his debut when he passed tired horses. And a next out winner came out of that race already in third place, Baytown Frosty.
And going into Formulator, we see this barn has done very well with second-time starting 2-year-olds in maiden special weight dirt sprints, an $8.52 return on investment. It's a fun race. If Headline Report runs to his headlines, or at least his advanced press, he's going to be tough to beat. But I think we agree with who we like. Who do you pick in here?
You know, I did use both of Wesley Ward's horses here. I liked John's Protoage a little bit better, just looking at dirt versus turf. I think Headline Report should give a good accounting of himself, but that his future might lie elsewhere. With them, I will try again to get Cacharullo up there as a little bit of a sleeper. I think he'll benefit from his first experience.
Looking forward to seeing what Headline Report does off those blazing workouts. I agree with Nicole. We'll get a little bit of a better price with the Wesley Ward trained number 2. 2364 for me, 2731 for Nicole in the Friday edition of Keeneland Babies, presented by Spendthrift.